Hello, everybody. It's me. It's Shannon LaBruyere, and I am live and loving it tonight. It is Sunday, November 10th, 2019. We are just a few short weeks away from 2020. Hi, Mary. I'm glad to see you. Ron, yay! Great job today, Ron, too. Thanks. You guys, I cannot believe that we are rounding the curve to a new decade. It is crazy to me. Hi, Al. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for jumping in. We are going to be talking a little bit tonight about something that a lot of times goes hand in hand with New Year's resolutions. So maybe I'm a little early. I believe our timing is just right because I have been really thinking about the difference between decisions and commitment. Hi, Julie. I'm glad you're here. Yay! Talking about not just decisions, but commitment and what commitment really is. Jim, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. You guys are awesome. Hey, feel free to invite a friend. We are going to be talking about something tonight so practical, so powerful that everybody needs to learn how to apply it. And I'm not saying that lightly. Everybody needs to learn this. It is counterintuitive. Very often, our gut does not tell us to behave in the way that I'm going to talk tonight about behaving. But I promise you that what we're going to discuss makes a big difference. It matters. It's a game changer. Marie Caruso, awesome. I'm glad to see you. Thank you for being here. All right, you guys, without further ado, let's get started. We are going to talk tonight about commitment. So I know many of you have heard me talk about decisions, the power of a decision, and making a decision is crucial. And I will never go back on that, so I'm not minimizing the power of making a decision. Hi, Margaret. Thumbs up. I'm glad you're here. Yay! I will not, excuse me, I'm going to adjust here so I get a little more comfortable. I am not going to renege on the importance of making a decision because making a decision is critical. But this is the thing. When we're talking about moving forward in our life, reaching goals, making changes, and we're all about thrive and change here on Sunday Night Live. That is my buzz phrase, thrive and change. When we want to thrive and design change, decision is everything. We have to start with the decision. But commitment goes hand in hand. And this is the difference. Here's the distinction. Decision happens up here. We decide. I made a decision. I want to do it. It's going to happen. I've decided. Commitment happens in our actions. We decide up here. A lot of times we decide in here, right? Our heart tells us, yes, that's the right thing. But the commitment piece to that decision shows up in our actions. Those decisions are useless if we don't have action to back them up. Does that make sense? Decisions happen in our head. Commitment happens in our actions. The day-to-day actions that keep us moving toward our goal after we made that decision. Linda, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. So glad to have you. So we're talking about commitment tonight. I'm trying to decide if I want to share this story. It's not. All right, I'm going to share it. It's not a secret story. Just, I don't know if all of you can relate to it, but I'm going to throw it out there. I'm a singer. Some of you know that. Some of you helped me sing, actually. Tim, glad to see you here, my friend. Awesome. Thank you for jumping on. We're talking about decisions and commitment. So, I'm a singer, and when I'm singing a song, a lot of times I get in the groove. It's in my sweet spot. You guys know your sweet spot. Maybe it's your sweet spot when you're jogging or when you're singing, whatever it is. It just feels easy and good, right? And so I'm cooking. It's all good. And then in the song, there comes this note, and it's just a little bit higher than what is comfortable. Just a little bit farther than what I'm used to going. Just a little bit. And I am so tempted while I'm singing to not reach for that stretch note. I'm so tempted not to reach for that really good note that if I hit that note, that song sounds amazing and all the energy's there and it's awesome. It is so tempting to not hit that note. Rebecca, I'm glad you joined. Thanks for jumping on. We're talking about a decision versus a commitment. So I have a choice. When I'm singing and I'm in my comfort zone and everything's easy, I can just stay there. I can compromise. Have you ever been there? You're in your sweet spot and you could make something really great if you didn't compromise. But it could be really good if you just keep going the way you are, right? It's okay, I'm good. Nobody will say anything, it's fine. But you know in your heart of hearts that if you stretch and hit it, it's gonna be great. And we have to decide, are we going to do it? I've said this before, I'll say it again. Deciding not to decide is a decision. Putting off the decision of, am I going to stretch and do it or not, is pretty much deciding, I'm not. Because at the end of the day, we don't love the stretch. If we don't commit to the stretch, commit to putting our resources behind whatever it takes to get that little extra bit. Stacy Stens, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for jumping on. If we don't commit to put the resources behind that extra, we're not going to do it. I can't tell you how many times I have told myself, you know what, when I get to that part of the song, I'll decide if I think I'm going to be able to do it or not. Big mistake. Because just deciding whether or not I'm going to do it isn't enough. I've got to be able to commit the resources as I'm building up to it. That's what we're talking about. The difference between just making a decision and the commitment, because the commitment is the resources. Am I going to put the resources I need to get that stretch note? Or am I going to decide at the 0 hour, oh, can't do it, and back away? Jim, I will keep on singing. I will keep on singing. You know I will. All right, so here are some of the differences between decisions and commitments. Decision says, I'll start. Decision says, I'll start. And that's important because every journey starts with a single step, right? So starting is a lot of times the hardest thing to do. I heard somebody say once that it's the start that stops people. So starting is important. That decision to start is important. But commitment says this. Commitment says, I'll finish. Decision says, I'll start. Commitment says, I will follow through to the finish. Decision says, I'll start. Commitment says, I will follow through. Decision says, I'm going to get married, right? And commitment says, I'll do what it takes every day to stay that way. Commitment is the action that we put behind the decision that actually gives it the power. Decision says, I'll do it, I'll start. And commitment says, I will follow through and do what it takes to the finish. Decision says, I will do it. And commitment says, I'll do what it takes to do it. I'll do what it takes to do it. I decided to leave my 31-year career. I decided to leave my 31-year career. And I decided that it would happen on my earliest eligibility date, which would have been February 28th, 2019. I decided, Shawan, hi, I'm glad you're here. I decided I was going to do it. Couldn't start it, so I wasn't deciding to start. I was deciding I've got a goal, right? I've got a goal. I will do it. I will. Alex, I'm sending you so much love right now. Mwah! I'm so glad you're here. I love you. Decision says, I'll do it. I'm going to retire at my earliest eligibility. And commitment says, I need to do something every day for the next 5 years so that when that day arrives, I'm ready. I decided to leave a 31-year career 5 years before I actually left it. 5 years before. Decision said, I'm going to leave. Commitment said, I'm going to prepare. I'm going to be ready. I'm not just going to bug out and not have any safety net, not have any plan, not have any business to go to. Commitment was the thing that made it possible for me to fulfill that decision 5 years earlier. Commitment is the important thing. Make the decision and then take the actions. Decision says I'll start. Commitment says I'll finish. You seeing a trend here? Starting is easy sometimes, or actually getting started and taking action is hard. Deciding what to do sometimes, we put it off forever. But when we've decided, we need the commitment to come behind and say, I will finish. I'm going to use an example from when I was in junior high. So we had gym class, and it was track and field was this whole section. I think we had 6 weeks of track and field. And so what I decided to do was I decided I was going to race the high hurdles. That was what I was going to do in track and field. So they put all the hurdles out, and I watched some of the more experienced runners run these hurdles. And they start, and they're running so fast, and then their leg comes up like this, almost like their hips out of joint. I know that looks funny on a video, but they do this. Have you ever watched the high hurdles? They run, their leg comes way up. Like, I'm looking at it going, I don't, how do they even do that? But I'm in 7th grade. I decide, you know what? I'm going to try it. And so I start running as fast as I can toward that first hurdle. And then as I start getting closer to the hurdles, I start slowing down. This isn't good. This isn't good. I decided to run, but I wasn't committed to doing what it takes. When I got up to that hurdle, I was going so slow, sort of at a jog. I'm seeing some thumbs up. I'm going so slow. I'm almost at a jog that it's almost as if I'm climbing over the hurdle. This is no race. John Buck, hi. Ricky Carpenter, hi. So glad you're here. So yeah, it was very funny. I could not make myself run full bore at those hurdles. I decided to run a race. I wasn't committed to doing what it took to finish it. And this is what I know. If I don't commit to finish, I won't finish. We can't just decide to start. We have to commit to finish. So why won't we? Why isn't the decision enough? Why is the commitment piece so critical? And I love all those emojis. Thank you. It encourages me. I know. It's me and the high hurdles. You're wincing now. You wasn't committed to the hurdle. I wasn't. Shawan, you're a business owner, and you know, if you're not committed to the hurdle, if you're not coming at that thing full bore in your business, you'll never clear it. You'll never clear it. You have to be committed to do what it takes to get over the hurdle. So this is what I know. If I don't commit to finish, I'm never going to finish. I'm never going to finish. That what if, maybe I will, it doesn't work when you're going for the goal. It doesn't work. We have to be committed, not just to the start, but to the finish. This is why the commitment matters so much. The first thing is, When we don't commit, we squander our resources. You can write this down and take it to the bank. The best time to take action toward a goal is immediately after you decide. Barbara, I'm glad you're here. Immediately after you decide, take action. That is where the commitment starts. You will never have more resources, more inspiration, more motivation at your disposal than immediately after you make a decision. The longer you wait to follow through on your commitment, Herman, I'm glad you're here. The longer you wait to follow through on your commitment, the more of your resources start to just fade away. When we don't start and act on our commitment immediately, the resources that were there at the time we made that decision start to dissipate. They start to evaporate. It takes a lot of energy to start something, doesn't it? It takes a lot of energy to start. And if you're like me, running the high hurdles, you get all your energy going, and then you slow down out of fear, out of anxiety, out of a lack of commitment to clearing that first hurdle. And you might make it over that hurdle, but then you've got to ramp up again. And all of that energy that you could have been using to propel you forward is being sucked out because you slowed down and kind of limped over the hurdle. You lost your momentum. Momentum is our friend. And when we don't commit and follow through, we lose our momentum. Starting is an energy suck. Starting over, starting over, starting over, starting over. We will exhaust ourselves and get inches toward our goal when, if we've committed to the finish, we can start strong and get some momentum going and clear the hurdles. The second reason why commitment is so important is because if we don't commit to support our decision with action, we time ourselves out. We've essentially decided not to decide. We've created excuses by not taking action. Oh, Shwan, I'm glad you love that analogy. We create excuses for ourselves when we don't commit to following through on our decision. Cesar, hello. And Lynn, hi. You guys, I'm loving this. Jump on in. This is awesome. We're talking about being committed. Making a decision is starting something. Being committed is finishing it. Being committed to the finish. When we're not committed to the finish, we time ourselves out. So, I don't know if this ever happened to you. When I was a teenager, we would get together in a group. In our case, it was after youth service on Friday nights. We would get together in a group and we would start talking. Hey, do we want to go out to eat? Everybody had decided, yes, we want to go out to eat. Got a group of people here. Everybody's decided eating is important. We want to go out to eat. And then our lack of commitment shows up. Where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? Well, where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? Do you feel like pizza? I don't know. Do you feel like pizza? What about tacos? You want tacos? I don't know. I don't want tacos. Around and around and around we would go. And the minutes are ticking past. And as we are failing to commit, failing to take action on our decision to go out to eat, our options are disappearing. First one off the list, Carmen's Buffet. Can't go to Carmen's Buffet to eat because it closes at 9:30 and we have just timed out of Carmen's. We're not going to make it there in time to be able to go to the Italian buffet. Carmen's is off the table. One of our options, gone. We decided to eat, had a bunch of options, didn't commit. And now our options are starting to disappear. Do you see what I'm saying? We talk a little more. Okay, so we can't go to Carmen's. Oh, I wanted to go to Carmen's. We mourn the loss of that opportunity. We couldn't go. We wait. We cry. More time passes. No commitment. Nobody's committing. And so now we can't go to the pizza place either. Why? Because they've just closed the dining room. The dining room closed at 10. We still haven't decided. By the time we've gotten done hashing this all out, failing to commit on our decision to eat, our option is down to one. It is White Castle, and if you don't want sliders, you're not going to be eating because White Castle is the only restaurant open. We time ourselves out, and we do that in our lives. I'm seeing these thumbs up, and I love it. I'm so glad you can relate to this. We time ourselves out because we don't want to commit. Rich Krieger, I am so glad you're here. I haven't seen you in a while, and it's awesome to have you. Thank you for being here. We're talking about making a decision and to start, and then following through with a commitment to finish. Commitment is key. When we don't commit, we time ourselves out, and our options start to dissipate and start to go away. I can tell you what I know as a singer. Hi, Daniel. I can tell you what I know as a singer. If I don't commit to hitting that high note, that note that I know is a stretch, if I don't commit to it, I don't give it the resources it needs to happen. If I'm trying to decide at the last minute, am I going to hit it or not? Am I going to try it or not? Am I going to take the cheater's way out or not? Am I going to go low because it's easy or not? When I struggle with deciding, I can't commit. I have to either decide I'm going to do it and then commit to put the resources to it, or I decide not to and I allow those resources to go somewhere else. When we fail to commit, we scatter our focus. We scatter our focus when we fail to commit. Because now we're spending energy trying to decide what's our next course of action. What should I do next? Is that the thing I want to do? Maybe I'll do this. We start to scatter our focus, and you guys know where our focus goes, our energy flows. If we have no focus, we're never going to make it. This is what I know as a singer. When I commit to hitting that high note, when I commit to making the stretch so that I can get it and make it awesome, a lot of things happen when I've decided to commit. I take a deeper breath. I push a lot more air. I open up my airwaves so that I can get as much room in there as possible to hit that awesome note. If I don't commit to that high note, I don't give it enough air. My throat's constricted. It comes out squeaky because I waited too long to put the resources behind it. Does that make sense? I know some of you aren't singers, but there are things in our life. Think of the hurdles. When we haven't committed to running that race and jumping over that hurdle, putting all of our energy into getting that leg up, we trip, we fall on our face. We have to follow through our decision with a commitment, right? I love the hearts, you guys. That's it. This is what I know. When I commit to something, it is easy. It's not always physically easy. It's not always mentally easy. But it is absolutely easy in my heart. It's something I love to do. It's something that I know is going to work. I'm committed. I'm in. I know the end. It's going to be good because I've committed to the finish. It is freeing when we commit. What do you need to commit to? You made a decision. Maybe you made a decision that you wanted to get promoted. Maybe you made a decision that you wanted to leave and start your own business. Maybe you made a decision that you want to be a parent, or you want to be a supervisor, or you want to be a pet owner. When you make the decision, pair that with the commitment that says, and I'm going to finish it well. I'm going to follow through with action. I'm going to do the next thing. What was the decision you made? What was the decision that you made that you know you need to put action behind it? Oh, Chase is pushing emojis. Chase, I thought your mama was loving this a lot. Chase, I'm glad you're into personal growth. That's amazing. And he's a pistol, Chase. I'm glad you're channeling his energy, Shawan. Chase is born to be a leader. That we know, right? All right, that's all I've got, but it's not a small thing. Are you going to follow through on your decision with a commitment? Are you going to put the resources behind that decision so that it actually happens? Or are you going to waffle and keep rethinking, do I want to? Do I want to? I can tell you this truth. Nobody gets a great life with downhill habits. Nobody gets to the top of a mountain when they don't commit the resources that it takes to train and to hustle and to work and to strive and to get strong. There is no decision worthwhile that you can make that doesn't require commitment to make it come to pass. The commitment is the key. The decision happens up here in our head. The commitment happens as we walk it out every day. I decided to get married. And then I've spent the last 36 and a half years walking out that commitment. I decided I was going to hit that high note. And I put all of my air, all of my focus, all of my physical resources behind having it come to pass. And that's what your dream takes. It takes you saying, I see the finish and I am not going to back off when I get close to the hurdle. I am not going to back off when I get close to that scary thing and don't have the momentum to get my leg up and over. I'm committed to the finish. And I hope you are too. What is it that you need to take action on today? What are you waiting for that you decided you wanted, but you just haven't had the commitment to take the action to do the next thing? Today's your day. Tonight's your night. You can take one action toward that decision that you made. You can start living out your commitment. Tonight's the night. I invite you to do it. I would love for you to share it with me because we all get a boost when we see what the rest of the people who are in this thing called life together, when we see what they're doing, how people are dealing with it. What can we cheer you on for? What can we support you in? What can we applaud you for? That's what we're here. It's a community. I invite you to share so that we can share your joy, share your pain, and work together so that we don't just make decisions. We commit and we act. Shawan, I am so glad that you needed this. I feel in my heart that somebody needed it, and to find out it's you, I'm sure you're not alone, but I'm really glad. I'm really glad that it'll help you. It's helped me. I've taken a look at some of the decisions that I've made, like writing a book, and I have been slowly but surely making progress on that. Hi, Kevin. I shared with you a while back that I decided I'm going to write a book, and it's going to be published by March of 2020, and we are getting pretty close to 2020 now, and my commitment has not wavered, but I've allowed my momentum to slow. Ron says this, I need to reprioritize my commitment on a personal relationship. Thank you for further reinforcing it. Oh, you are welcome, Ron. It feels like the universe, God, is also trying to tell me, just do it. Lovely video, Shannon. Oh, Ron, I'm glad you needed it, and thank you for the kind words. Ron was there today when I was pushing all that air to try to get some of the high notes. So he's seen my struggle. You guys, you're awesome. It is such an honor and a pleasure to share with you. I love you all. I am honored to be part of your journey, and if there's anything I can do to help you, you let me know. Mwah! Have a great night. Take care. Bye.